Okay, so there's the board, there's my piece of paper, and I tape it all the way around. And now this paper doesn't move once you wet it. It's because it's so heavy. But if you're using a thinner weight paper, the alternative is to stretch it, which is another process altogether. And I don't think it's probably appropriate to do it now, but I can show you at some point how to stretch paper very quickly and very easily on the tabletop. But it is important to put tape round. It does create a nice margin, and it makes it look really nice when it's finished. I.e., now I've taken the tapes off this. This is what it looks like without its tapes on.
Yes, it always makes it look nice.
It does make it look nice, doesn't it, Chris?
Yes.
And this is what I mean about some indication of what it's sitting on. So this is the back of the table.
Yes.
This is the bottom of the mirror. This is the white piece of paper.
Yeah.
So just a few lines just to give it some sort of sense of it being somewhere rather than just floating on the page.
Yeah. Sue?
Yes?
How do I make my Buddha look creamy colour? Because he's not really white.
No, well, the thing is, well, I'd use your yellow ochre.
Yes.
Tiny touch of minute touch of alizarin crimsonate. Mix it into a very thin pale wash, because if he's cream, you don't want a strong colour for your Buddha to start off with.
Yellow ochre, and what else did you say?
A tiny, tiny, tiny touch of alizarin crimson. So I'd literally just put the tip of my brush into it.
Yes.
So you don't. I can show you how I'd mix it if you like. That would be maybe helpful. I could mix the same colour. Hold on. Okay, so I've got something on here which I think is either yellow ochre or raw sienna. It's more likely to be raw sienna because I use raw sienna a lot. But let's just see what happens. So first of all, obviously wet your lump of colour.
Yeah.
And then I would put it into, over here, just get the bits up that you've got and just stroke your brush on the edge to release the colour down into the well. Now, there's not very much there, is there? You can see that.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm bringing the water over, and I'm actually going to add water to it because I know it's got to be a pale colour.
Yes.
So now I've said to you to put a tiny bit of alizarin in. So if you wet your alizarin, already it releases the colour and it's strong. I don't know if you can see that. Let's go in.
Yeah.
I put water on that and it's already released that very strong colour. So what I would do with my paper towel, I'd almost take some of it off my brush like that. And then I put my brush into into it.
Yeah.
So when you put it in, already it's made that go pinker, which is, you know, it may not be, I mean, I may have to go back and put some more yellow in it. Now that looks fairly strong to me, that colour that I've mixed. So I would water it down.
Yeah.
I think you'll find if you've got yellow ochre, it probably work better. Almost don't put hardly any red in it.
Yeah.
And then I would try it out on the back of or somewhere, just to see what the colour looks like. Now, when I paint it, Chris, look at this. You probably can hardly, you can probably hardly see. Yeah, see how pale it is?
No, that's good.
Yeah. Now, when that dries, it's going to dry even paler still.
Yes, that's what you want.
Yeah. Now, the other thing I'd say to you is don't paint every last bit of your Buddha in. Just paint some of it. I mean, you know, you probably have got your Buddha shape in pencil. Let me just draw one. So you've got your little shape of your, I mean, whatever he's like.
Fat.
He's a fat little Buddha, isn't he?
Yes.
And he's got his little legs probably crossed. I don't know.
Well, they're covered in material.
Okay, well, whatever's going on there. Okay, now when you come to paint it, there will be some areas, maybe, you know, on the side of his tummy, which are darker.
Yeah, there's lots of shadows of the material.
Yeah, you've got the shadows of the material, whatever's happening there. So what I'm saying is just be aware that you leave little bits of white. You might even want to make a paler version of that colour in the palette next to it that's almost like water. And you could perhaps use some of that in conjunction with the one that you've mixed up. Yeah. So that, you know, you get, when it dries, it'll look like there's two colours there. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I see.
Yeah. So what I don't want you to do is to get rid of every last little bit of white on your paper, because
exactly. No.
It won't look Buddha-like if you do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, and then you'll have his dark little plinth underneath.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Yvonne, this is the kind of colour I've got. Whoops, hold on. Which I think is similar to what your backing paper. Is that right? You probably can't even see it, but yeah?
Yes, it's a bit lighter than that, a bit more.
Yeah, well,
rosy,
by the time this dries, it will be lighter.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, if it's a reasonably large area, I'm just going to do it in a small area like this. Pretend this is your paper.
Yes.
And I've got an area like that, and I want to take it down to about there.
Yes.
Can you see that?
I can.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to immerse my brush head in the wodge of colour.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the colours here, right?
Yes.
So I'm just rolling my brush in it. So my brush is loaded up with colour, and then I would literally, and this paper is really, oh my God, this is very textured, this paper. I just go really pull it down as quickly as I can. And the white bits get left just because the paper's so textured. Now yours might not be as textured as this, but can you see how much paint there is on the paper?
Yes.
It should be at least that amount until you get to that line down the bottom.
Right.
And then when you get there, see, I haven't filled it in. There's still bits showing up. You can see those bits of white paper. what I would then do is
Yes.
empty my brush on the edge of my palette,
Mhm.
dry my brush, and then not even wash it, just run the tip of it along the bottom edge where the pool of colour is left, and just pick up that pool of colour. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
I mean, even while it's still wet, I might be inclined to put some more colour on it. You know, I've got another colour here which I might add into it. Hold on. Yeah, some more purple. It depends if you want it. You know, I've got plenty. I might just drop in some colour as well. Look, like this.
Yes.
You see what I'm doing?
Yes.
And let it just do its own thing. Don't try and fill it all in. Just drop it in here and there.
Right.
And then leave it. And then again, just dry your brush off and pick up the pools of colour that are left behind at the bottom.
Okay.
So there's no puddles at the bottom. But I wouldn't go back over this. I'd leave that alone.
Okay.
Now, by the time that's dried, that will probably be quite interesting. Let's just try it and see. Hold on. I'm just going to stop before I dry it completely. Look how pale it's gone where it's dried.
Yes. So that's only drying a bit of it or all of it?
Yeah, no, this is all wet.
Ah, I see.
So
Yeah.
you, in a way, the darker the better if you wanted a dark background,
Yeah.
because it will dry at least 50% lighter.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.